fishing muskie in southern Michigan. It's Halloween. Can you tell at all? Right next to me here is my good buddy Will Schultz. He guides muskies in all these lakes around this area, and he knows them well. So we will show you the next bite. We got Mark Zona here next to me, and you know, he's got his own TV show, the Zona's Awesome Fishing Show. He's the host of the Bassmasters and this, that, and the other, but he's actually kind of a quiet and reserved young man. I've gotten to know Mark pretty well in the last several years. And Mark, you know, on this show, I really want you to just kind of let it all hang out, man. Just be yourself. Take off that mask.
And just be me.
Be you.
Thanks, Pete.
Just looking for the next bite, next bite, just looking for the next bite.
We'll continue to show you the next bite.
When it comes to muskie fishing, there are a few things that every avid angler knows who both truly enjoy it and find success at it.
Ready for the farmer's market. Woo!
One, while it's serious business, it's really about having fun.
I remember seeing kids in high school that would walk and not move their arms. I mean, seriously, look at that. It's so weird.
And two, no matter your level of experience or the size of your tackle box, even veteran ESOC specialist Pete Maina and local Michigan guide Will Schultz know that as the kings of the coop, muskies often do whatever they want. So being prepared mentally, even if it means going mental.
Father, I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Father!
In the right ways makes for, at the very least, a much more enjoyable experience as you begin to build a framework for a pattern.
Muskie thing's a little more laid back. It's a little more you're building into something. And this time of year, everybody's up in a tree. Everybody's bow hunting right now. And that's the beautiful thing about this time of year is you can get on a gorgeous, crisp, glacial lake and you'll never see a boat the entire day, the entire month. And the most amazing thing about it is throughout October and November, whether you're bass fishing, whether you're muskie fishing, is potentially the biggest of the year.
So we're fishing most of the day. Zona's starting to get that I'm wondering if I took him to the right lake, I think. I see a fish on the graph, tell him that one of us just raised the fish. There's a fish under the boat. It's gonna eat one of the suckers.
You got him, baby Z!
Little did we know upon hook set that fish barely got a hook in her, and at that point, she comes up shaking her head. Zona looks and goes, barely hooked.
That's a hobgoblin.
Nice fish.
He's barely hooked.
So we get the fish in the net, and though she wasn't the biggest fish in the world, still a decent fish. Good way to start the day.
Oh, but he's in the warehouse.
But we just got a little bit of wind that picked up and a little cloud cover, and so things are gonna go now.
Look at that. Ooh, that's a hobgoblin right there. Whoa. Oh, he's just a cute little. He's just a cute little fella. Look at him. Dude, that was wonderful. I'm not gonna lie. I can go home happy now, Mr. Will.
Nice.
I was already happy. Don't get me wrong. Look at that. I'm gonna tell you what that fish was right there. That fish was FOF, full of fire. FOF, full of fire. Woo!
The next bite is brought to you by Mercury, #1 on the water. Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Tracker boats. Fish, the finest. Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Berkeley. Catch more fish. Mustang, stay sharp longer. Lowrance, find, navigate, dominate. Motor Guide, never stop. Strike King, #1 in fishing lures. And Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Sucker rigs are a go-to setup for fall muskie fishing.
Hold on a minute.
So making sure that you're rigging them as safely as possible for when a muskie bites to avoid the fish swallowing any hooks.
Would you tell me how sucky of a morning it is to be in Will's hand with 4 shanks that just go down your spine and now you're hanging over the side of the boat?
It's a major part of catch and release.
This rig that we're using is a little bit different from the rubber band rigs you may see. It's got a single hook in the nose that goes in the top of the nose, not through the mouth. That allows them to breathe perfectly. You bring the first treble hook back, hook it through the skin lightly. Second one comes back a little further. That gives you a easy breakaway rig, and when they T-bone the sucker, they're usually grabbing it, and you see most of them with the belly facing out if you get a good look at them before you set the hook on them, and those hooks will be right in their mouth.
Even if running suckers may be a staple component of fall muskie fishing, continuing to stay focused and in the Zona while casting is always an important advantage for increasing your chances of getting your next bite.
So we are having a great time out here. I mean, it's been a hoot. Listen to Baby Z and Will back there, but you know, the weird thing is we've had this nice weather move in and clouds, and we got a little wind picked up, and you kind of get into a mode muskie fishing where you're just mechanically doing it after a while. We're expecting something to happen, but we almost kind of got to that place where you're just having fun and you're paying attention and you're doing your thing, but you're not expecting anything at all.
I saw him come behind it. Biggin.
Hang on, buddy.
Biggin.
And the funny thing is, I'm casting out this way, and these guys are casting in shallow, so I'm not seeing what's going on over here. And all of a sudden, it's just absolute chaos. He said, got him!
Biggin. Big old freaking melon head. Get in there. Get in the boat. Hey, dude.
Let's do it.
I don't care. I love it. Dude, I saw something barely flash behind it. I was like, I swear to God, I just saw something. I mean, it just looked like a good fish. You see what I mean? I mean, it looked like just a solid fish.
Boy, that was out of nowhere, bro.
Did I just figure 8 one? I don't know. That is the best thing on earth, when you actually see something go, oh my God. It is just like when Jabba the Hutt eats that frog out of the bowl. That is fantastic.
ABC.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Nice.
I think I literally screamed, I got something.
You did.
That is so great. Guys, is it fair to say that number one, that us three are BFFs from here on out?
Fishing information from real fishing experts, presented by Amsoil.
Okay, buddy, up. Get in your kennel up. Good boy, good boy. Good boy, buddy. We're gonna get some birds, huh? Good boy. Hey, this is my grouse and woodcock hunting truck. You can tell by how dirty it is. It's that time of year. This truck is kind of a beat-around truck. I've got over 120,000 miles on it. Years ago, I switched over to all Amsoil products in this truck, but one of the ones that I use religiously is Amsoil PI Performance Improver. About every 4,000 miles, that's what they recommend. They don't want you to use it any sooner than that or any more often than that, because it's a detergent type material. It literally cleans the fuel injectors, it keeps the engine super clean, gives you better fuel economy, gives you less exhaust emissions, and overall it even takes engine knockout in a lot of cases. This keeps your engine clean, it allows it to run like it's pretty well new. So like I said, about every 4,000 miles, I add a bottle to the tank, and the stuff works unbelievably well. You can literally see the difference after you burn a tank compared to the way the truck was running before. So it's called Amsoil PI Performance Improver, and it's a must for gasoline engines.
Weather is always a big part of fishing, and for fall muskie fishing especially, it's not uncommon when putting in 3 to 4 days out on the water for some kind of inclement weather to move through, be it snow, wind, or rain, or sometimes, if you're really lucky, even all three.
So, you know, I'd have to call us lucky today because the entire central part of the continent is covered in this massive front right now, and we're, of course, right in the middle of it. And it's been soggy all day. This is literally the brightest portion of the whole day here. And Zona kind of warned us about this, but I said, Baby Z, I mean, we got to go fishing. It is what it is. It's a muskie deal. We've seen a few, but they were in a very ugly mood. And at this point, I think we're in an ugly mood.
It's almost as if we as anglers are being punished for our love of muskie fishing, as if the long, undisturbed hours, or sometimes disturbed but just in a different way,
No, rough, 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 rough.
and thousands of casts lobbing shot putts for lures wasn't enough already. But even with everything Mother Nature likes to dredge up, nothing tops seeing the bite at the end of the
We have
tunnel.
gone a filthy awful long while without really any action. We've had a few follows today, but it actually gets a little bit, it's demoralizing. Play some next bite music right now. Yeah, play some next bite music, number one, because that gives it a better spirit. To me, the key is to show the interceptions. Because right now, I got news. We've been pick 6 today.
We were working up on a point, sucker down below the boat, and I wanted to nudge the sucker down below the boat real close to the point. Line started going out, grabbed the rod, fish had gone under the boat, walked the fish around the boat, and was able to swing the rod over to Zona and make sure that he could get lay the steel to this one.
Attaboy, Z! Attaboy, Z! You got him, buddy!
Get up in here! Go, you sloppy Joe! You are a filthy pig! He's a glorious beast. That right there was the 11 minutes of happy hour I needed.
So we finally were able to get one for Zona today.
Freaking nailed it.
Not a giant, but a fish.
That is
After today. That is a giant today, exactly.
I have seen and caught bigger with you, my friend, over the years, and with you in the last 2 days. Mentally, that's the biggest one I've ever seen. Okay, bye.
It's kind of an interesting deal we got here. It's the end of October. When we started this shoot, the water temperatures were in the low 40s, warmed up a little bit, but it's fall. I mean, it's the time of the year that you're normally thinking deeper. We're on a stained water lake here, and it's pretty interesting. I'm talking to Will about this just now, and he's saying that this pattern kind of exists right till the end of November as well, when the waters are even getting cooler on into the 30s. In this particular lake, for some reason, these fish tend to hang pretty shallow. It's not that there aren't some out here in the deeper water, but they seem to continue to hang pretty shallow and in dead weeds, actually. These weeds are already dead to half dead. Every fishery is a little bit different. You know, you might have a deeper Cisco-based fishery where the fish are staging deeper, but we're actually fishing pretty tight. When Will gets in a confident spot, I know a lot of times, even though we're running suckers, he'll get right up against those dead weeds because he knows that's where these fish seem to want to hang here. Don't always fish deep and then just keep fishing deep. And dead weeds, wild people tell you that fish aren't going to hang in, a lot of times they will.
Leading information on tackle and techniques to make you a better fisherman. Presented by Mercury.
The 16 to 18 foot deep V aluminum boat market is truly the bread and butter market for the North. No matter what species of fish you're going after, walleyes, northerns, muskies, it is a great size boat for pretty much every body of water in the North. And of course, you're gonna have a lot of different options when it comes to choosing an outboard for that size boat. This Merc 150 4-stroke has quickly risen to the top of my list when it comes to choosing an outboard for that size boat. And there's a few reasons for that. It's the lightest, smallest, and toughest engine in its market. And when I say lightest and smallest, what does that do for you in terms of boating? It makes your whole boat and motor package a little bit lighter, obviously, which is gonna give you that good hole shot and gonna give you that good top end speed. So that's all very good. You can get to the fish real fast, and you can put a few people in the boat, 3-4 people in the boat, and still plane that boat out no problem. Now, of course, I said toughest. Now, what does that mean? This This motor actually comes with a 3-year corrosion resistance warranty that is unmatched in the industry. So a very cool feature there too. Now, of course, I said Merc 150 4-stroke. It's very quiet, okay? It's very smooth. You don't have to carry oil with you and put oil in every single time you're going out fishing. Now, another thing that's very cool about this engine is there is an endless amount of stainless steel props that you can dial this engine in with, meaning get that perfect hole shot and perfect top speed that you're really striving for. So if you're looking for a boat in this type of category, or any boat that performs well with a 150, make sure you take a look at the new Merc 150 4-stroke. I think you're really gonna like what you see.
Although the measure of success in muskie fishing is often solely based on size, really, the overall experience itself should be considered with equal measure, as when hunting for any trophy animal. The losses are as hard-hitting.
Do it, baby. Z,
Don't
do
forget
it,
to come
do it.
cool.
Did I do anything wrong there?
No, nothing.
He was heading that way.
As the successes are as heart-thumping.
Opposite way that he's moving, Z. Back. There you go, baby, Z.
That is so cool.
Yeah, man. Nice.
That's awesome.
And it's this devilish cycle of twists and turns that make muskies both suck
Happy Halloween.
and be totally awesome at the same time.
You know, the one thing I really learned over the years of fishing with Pete, which pretty lucky to have a teacher like this, is I have to come, whenever I'm coming to fish for muskies, and I know this is a really basic principle, but if it's something that you watch on the next bite, and you're like, wow, I want to get into trying to catch a trophy muskie, you have to unplug the usual fishing world you come from and then boot back in, you know, and I say this with all seriousness, you have to get into a deer hunting mode. If you're gonna go shoot the biggest buck that you watch on, you know, that you see on TV shows, you need to hunt for that buck. To catch Godzilla, the number one thing I've learned, at least from that guy right there, patience.
Patience isn't just some zen mindset to be practiced in between bites. It actually has been equally important in letting the muskies take the sucker and waiting for what seems like forever.
This right here is the show ender.
The show ender.
Yes.
To get them facing away from the boat and taking the sucker with them before setting the hook.
You teach that fish a lesson, boy. It's like grab some wood, boy.
We had a little better day going on here, having a big time, but even muskie fishermen get hungry. So we'd actually had a nice little snack break. We were still not quite into fishing mode yet, but while we were doing that, Will was actually running the suckers.
I cannot believe you haven't cracked that thing yet.
But it was kind of interesting because we were no longer casting. He had moved in tight on this channel area next to some wood, and he was working those suckers real tight in there. Thought possibly when I heard the click, 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 that it might be stuck in that tree because we're just drifting a little bit. And all the hits today have been kind of the same deal. Just like that at first, you're really not sure. Click, 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 click. But then all of a sudden again, just you knew it was going a little bit faster than that boat was drifting. Attaboy, Will!
Way to go, Will. Hoo-hoo.
Got a tight drag on that one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, gosh, that's a nice one.
That's a nice
Yep.
one.
That's a good one. That is a dandy. That's a dandy.
He's staying down. See, get him in there!
Hold on, caught your throttle. Caught your throttle. Got him.
Stuff around this boat.
Got it.
That's a big one.
That is a big one. That is a big one, dude. Woo! There you go. Now, I'm not going to lie, Uncle Pete. He set the hook just like I did on the one I lost.
Yeah.
There's just one big difference.
There is one. His is in the net.
It's in the net. You got to look at it like this. The most amazing thing is what went on yesterday. Just pan back there real quick. It was horrible. And what I always say is whether it's bass fishing, pike fishing, saltwater fishing, but especially muskie fishing, it is the most extreme case of the highest highs and the lowest lows. We've all dated her, you know what I mean, right? Best of times, worst of times, extremely hot. That's what a muskie is.
Come on, open that mouth and Zona.
Keep your mouth off me! Look at that green. It's like a plum. Light bluish hue. Ready for the picket, ready for the farmer's market. Woo! That's what I do. That's what I do. That's what I do. I'm done. Look how thick that is, dude. That is a perfect beast. This next bite is a wrap. See y'all next year. Z-Train 2014.
Help, 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 help.
I gave it everything the Italian donkey had. Donkey go. Ee-haw, ee-haw. But don't go anywhere. There's more next bite coming up next. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nailed it.
When the zombies left. I'm sorry.
Come tell them about the bottle that you drink. Leave it on the ground. Take my hand. I'm done with mine. Yeah.
The Next Bite would like to thank Michigan Muskie Guide Will Schultz of Michigan Muskie Guide Service. For more information about Will and his guiding services, visit michiganmuskie.com.